and welcome to this Lumify Fireside chat. My name is Gary Duffield. I'm on the senior leadership team here at Lumify Work. And joining me today is Chris Duffy, who's one of our esteemed trainers and also author and all-round expert on all things AI. We're going to discuss today a particular course, Microsoft develop generative AI solutions with Azure OpenAI AI service. Please don't let that title put you off. It's not as complicated as it sounds. It has the actual code number of AI-050, should you be interested. Hi, Chris. It's great having you here today.
Thank you, Gary. It's great to be here, particularly discussing all the AI offerings of Microsoft.
No, and there's a lot of new stuff coming in the pipeline or planned from all the vendors, AWS, Microsoft, and Google. But right now, I'm pretty keen to hear more about the Microsoft Developing Generative AI Solutions course. Give me an overview, something that I can understand basically.
Well, the AI-050 course is just a one-day course. It's basically taking ChatGPT out of the OpenAI website and putting it into a Microsoft or an Azure environment. And by putting it into the Azure environment, we can then go and make it more secure and also go and lock it down into our own networks should we need to. So the course is essentially just about using the OpenAI service, getting started with it, rolling out our different models that we might want to go and utilize, and then starting to build our own solutions with those models, and then a little bit about prompt engineering as well, which is just making sure we get the best answers from those models that we can possibly get without having the generative models make stuff up, which they sometimes have a habit of doing.
So that sounds to me like you can apply the rigor and the security of your Microsoft investment in Azure and skills, which is great. But that leads on to a very obvious question for me. So is this a course that's designed for network administrators, for developers, for architects who'll be rolling this out, or people who just need to know a little bit about generative AI in a Microsoft world?
It's really more about just knowing about the generative AI in the Microsoft world. There is a little bit of lab work that's going to be done from a development point of view, but really, even if you're from a management team, what you really need to be seeing is how your developers are accessing all of the information that's out there in these models, how you can lock it down, and just how simply it is to work with this model here, which is our generative AI models, but also how all of the other Microsoft models can be utilized at the same time. It's really interesting working with the Microsoft products, particularly these AI products, because it's changing so rapidly, and Microsoft changed the Azure formats all of the time. I don't know how I'm really happy that they've decided to go and put all of their courseware in real time now out on the web, because it changes so often. It's great to have a learning resource out there that is updated on a regular basis.
Maybe times were easier when a new piece of technology came out every 3 years, and then we got 3 years to learn how to apply it before the next version came along.
Yeah. Well, there's probably time that I could also plug the DevOps courses as well, in a way, which is making sure that as solutions are developed, we can roll them out, including the documentation, all at the one time.
And you know what, that's key. And although we're diversifying from this course, it's not just a case of running setup, clicking next, finish, as it used to be perhaps in the olden days, not to cheapen the deal in any way, shape or form. But you need to have the DevOps piece, you need to have your project management piece, you need to have your security piece wrapped around that, which really leads neatly into the next question. So just thinking about my skill set, I really do need to get more of a handle on AI. I'm reasonably okay with Azure. I've done AZ-104, I've done Azure Administrator. I'm not really strong in the developer space. Would this course work for me? So what are the prerequisites, I guess, is the question that I'm asking.
Yeah, well, the course can be open to anyone, really. So it's not a huge developers course. I mean, I would have thought that most developers would probably find this course a little bit on the simple side in terms of the setup and accessing all of the information. This course is more about how we can utilize the OpenAI models in an enterprise environment so that companies can have some faith and some knowledge that whatever they're using with these models is in fact secure, in terms of no one can get in to utilize the same models that they're using, that in fact all you're doing is leveraging your own version of ChatGPT just for your own use.
You know, you're selling it to me. It's sounding like just a course I might want to sit on. If I had no skill in the space, I'm aware that we actually have a sort of a beginner's course, a sort of a getting started with the ChatGPT course, which might be more valid. But you know, people who've done a little bit of C#, maybe a little bit of Python, that would give them a head start, but it's not necessarily required, is my understanding.
Correct. That's 100% correct there. This is just a very introductory course. It's a preliminary course before we get into the major development. And really, it's a lot of fun seeing how we can go and leverage all of the great parts about OpenAI's web app into our own private world of models in our business and enterprise environment.
It sounds like it's the first step in a very long journey. So I've turned up on day one of the training course. Is this teach and preach? Is it broadcast mode? Do I get my hands dirty when doing this course? What can I expect when I turn on the course?
Yeah, you're going to get your hands dirty. You're not going to be sitting there listening to me for 8 hours of the day. What you're going to do is get all the theory laid out. We're going to have some hands-on labs. We're going to have some workshops. We're going to have some group discussions. We're also going to go and see, particularly as part of this course, where it fits in. I mean, it's all great to understand how it works, all these generative models work in the Azure environment, but we also need to go and see OpenAI's offerings. We need to go and compare them against the offerings and the models used in the Microsoft 365 space. And we also will go and start talking about Meta's models of Llama that's now going to be run up and spun up within the Azure environment as well, and how all of our other machine learned models also fit into the space as well.
I feel like collectively the entire industry is taking its first step in the direction of something where nobody's quite sure what it's going to look like in 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. Now, I'm quite excited by that, if I'm honest. So keen to actually perhaps get myself onto this course or similar courses. I may start with a beginner's course. Actually, my C# not as good as it could be. VB6 mastered, C# not so good. If anybody would like to know a little bit more about this course, please reach out to your Lumify account manager. You can also visit lumifywork.com or email training@lumifywork.com. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like it, please hit the bell and subscribe to our channel. Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time today, and I feel I know a little bit more about the direction that we're heading. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.